Chad in. Bring him on in. Hi there. Hi there. Hi, Chad. Stay right there. Eddie Floyd's here. Elaine's here. Come on in, Chad. Sit down. Oh, everybody, come on in. Join me. Elaine's here from the journey home. Eddie Floyd's here. Hi there. Paul, I'm glad you came, Paul.
12 years ago, I had him on the show.
Do you know Chad? Oh, you do? 12 years ago, you had him on your Nevada Matters, right, Eddie?
Right.
Have a seat, Chad. Glad to have you here.
Yes,
Welcome.
And I'll come over.
You do whatever you want. Okay, honey, thank you.
By the way, I just think you an honest to God, true compliment.
You paid me a compliment, Eddie? Oh, I love you. So help me. Oh.
I'll say it on the air.
Will you say that on the air when you get in here? Okay, we'll be waiting for you. Chad, today. Did you have trouble getting here? You have trouble finding us?
It took me 2.5 minutes.
Get up here in this microphone here, Chad.
All right.
All right.
Hey,
Oh, now.
all right.
Oh, roughneck. Look at you. Chad, I'm so glad you're here. Now, I'm not going to call you the son of Sam, although...
Thank you so much. It's been done before already, so...
I know, but your father is Sam today. I have to bring that up. Get in that microphone just a little bit. I want to hear you really good. There
yes,
you go.
He is Sam Dehne, and I'm very proud of him.
Well, you should be. He's kind of holding up our Fifth Amendment, don't you think?
He's a huge inspiration to me, and he is very, very much so upholding our Fifth Amendment,
yes.
and it keeps getting striked down every time that he...
But he keeps going back.
But he keeps going back.
Well, and that's what we all have to do, don't we?
He is a tenacious man.
He is, and a wonderful man. Really nice man. All right, Chad, so you ran against Bob Cashel. Oh, my gosh.
Yes,
I had my fingers crossed.
Fight giants.
Old giants.
I wasn't going to go there, but
well,
yeah, thank you for doing so for me.
Well, you know, I do consider him one of the good old boys, and he did a lot for the state of Nevada.
Yes,
but him being in the gaming for so long, that became his major focus.
Yes. And
I think that took him off track of other things that Reno could accomplish.
Yes, and I don't even think it was so much of a focus as it was just trying to keep, things going with the current establishment. So
with the other good old boy
yeah,
system.
Exactly. So people that have a lot of money invested in that, and you know what, I feel for those people. I know that I see those big buildings over there and those lights going up. But somebody's paying for that.
Heck yeah, who do you think that is? Hello.
My parlay card last week probably paid for a little bit of it, so...
Well, was the race tough? I mean, it had to be tough.
It was very difficult, especially when I pretty much got ignored. The community voted me through the primary in to represent basically the proletariat, and the media refused to give me 1 second of time.
Why do you think that is?
Because I had everything to gain, and they know that the current mayor... Every single time that he was opening his mouth, you look on Reno Gazette Journal on the internet site there, every time there's anything about Bob Cashel in there, he just gets slammed. And they knew, the rule is equal time, fair and equal time, and if they didn't give him his time on the media, they didn't have to give me mine. And I would have won the election had channels 2, 4, and 8 come and done an interview with me.
Do you really believe that, Chad?
I really do believe it. I got 38% of the vote just using my feet. I didn't spend any money, went door to door, stood on the side of the road. And by the way, when I did stand on the side of the road, I was waving and smiling at people, and I not one time in about 18 hours worth of campaigning that way, this time, not one middle finger.
Well, don't you think they were going, Perv, what's up with him? What's he doing? Is he the new waiver?
I got a lot of waves, a lot of thumbs up, a lot of honking, a lot of encouragement. Had a lot of people pull over and come over and talk to me. I had one lady come over and say a prayer with me. It was very touching.
Okay, Chad, now tell me, what would you do if you were mayor of Reno? What are you going to change? What is going to make the difference?
The difference is we out with the old and in with the new. And you know what? I don't claim to have all of the answers. I'm not a miracle worker. But something has got to change. We need people in there. And the first thing I was going to change was show that our public service people, elected officials, need to make sacrifices. And
you were going to give up your salary, weren't you, part of it?
I was going to give up a good portion of my salary, and
I think that's crazy.
Well, you know what?
It's admirable, though. It's admirable.
This is the country. The country that I love and I grew up in was built on sacrifice, and I believe in that. And if you want to be in government, it's time to sacrifice. People that are getting into government to get their wallets fat are not in government for the right reason. It's supposed to be somebody that's serving the general populace, for the overall welfare of all humanity amongst our masses. And
But Chad, how are you going to change that? Don't you think that has become the way of life in politics? How you could just get in there and all of a sudden you're the new blood?
I refuse to give in to that theory right there. And
Well, tell me how would you begin to make the changes?
First thing I would do is, you know what, I wouldn't give in to the current establishment and just go along and be a yes man. I guarantee you that a lot of the things that are going on right now, we would step back and say, you know, Bob Cashel said when he was running that if Harry Reid didn't get elected, that there was no way that we could get anything done in this town. And I said, great, because you know what? I think it's time to get some things undone. And so maybe we need to just take a couple steps back and see where we're at. First thing that I would do is we'd get into those coffers and see what the debt for this community is. We don't even know right now. We get an outside auditor to come in, see what it is, and then work from there.
Well, you're not a CPA or anything. You would just start with gearing your people to check out where exactly we are money-wise and what we're spending money on in this state.
I don't have any paper on the wall, but you know what? All the people that have the paper on the wall that says that they can do a great job, well, you see where we are right now with that. I think it's time for a little bit of common sense to take over, and somebody that comes in and cares about the entire populace of this community rather than just themselves and some people that gave them some money for their campaign.
What do you see the job of mayor? What is the job description of being the mayor, Chad?
Well, you know, a lot of people in this community think that the mayor runs this town, and the truth of the matter is the city manager runs this town. And when it comes down to anything and decisions being made by the city council, the mayor, in fact, is only one vote. His vote is no more important than any other city council member on that board.
So what is his job description?
He is supposed to be a rallier. He is supposed to
parades and
that, you know, and that's fun. You know, but parades and don't get me wrong,
ribbon cuttings.
And Bob Cashel is a nice man.
So what is it, a goodwill position? Is that what you're saying? The mayor of Reno is a
and I'm not saying that's all that is. There's definitely got to be some input, but the job per se has a lot to do with rallying the city council into believing ideas.
So it would be important to have the city council on your side.
It might. Like I said, it might be time for that all to change.
Are you persuasive? Are you persuasive in your ideas?
I am not persuasive. Well, it depends. If people are trying to persuade me, you know, it's interesting that you ask that, because during my whole campaign, you know, I learned more from people that disagreed with me than anybody that agreed with me, because I can sit here and
That's open-minded. That's
yes.
Open-minded. You're open-minded then.
Very much so. And there again, I don't claim to know all the answers, and I'm, you know, the whole thing was going to be OJT, and I think that we need that.
OJT?
On-the-job training.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
And you know, people that come in there and, you know, have all these ideas on how to spend money and this and that, you know what, we were just going to look at the paper and say, okay, here's this job, not have any preconceived agendas, and certainly not. I had people, you know, getting on my case saying, well, Chad's never down here. He doesn't know the current establishment. And I said, that's really a good thing.
Probably it could be,
you know,
to
the
your
open
advantage.
meeting law, yes.
Yeah.
The open meeting law says that, you know, our government's not really supposed to be hanging out together and making decisions until they get in that room anyways. And you know what? It's amazing how often when you go into those meetings, it's the decision's made and it's 7-0. Those guys, like I said earlier on the Mander show, they 7-zip every time across the board. It's amazing that everybody agrees on everything. They pitch more shutouts than Tim Lincecum.
Well, what would you do to change it? Tell me what you would do. Go ahead, have your coffee. Let's all have. If you guys have any question, go ahead and jump right on in there, Elaine and Paul.
Yeah, well, you know, that is such a broad question.
It is a broad question, but there's a starting point.
Yes.
Where would you start?
Well, like I said, the very first thing, and I hate to keep going back to this, but taking that pay cut out the gate, I think shows goodwill to our whole community in saying, and you know, Bob Cashel, the man, you know, he got quite a bit of money in his campaign contributions, and
Yeah.
he gave it to charity.
He has a lot of
And you know
support,
what?
yes.
He's not the root of the problem, what we got here, and I just think that our government has run amok, and I
And you want to get in there and start making some kind of changes.
Yes.
That's what you want to do.
Yes. I don't think our government listens to the citizens at all, but then again, the only citizen that ever goes down there to
Is
talk to
Sam,
our
your
government
father.
is my father, so, you know.
And he's got a lot to say. Now, you being an ex-Marine, is that going to help you? Do you think that's going to help you in your political aspirations?
I don't think it's going to hurt me.
What, the
I don't
discipline?
know.
What is it that will help you about it? Just
I think just my ability to work with everybody. In the Marines, I was one of those guys that got along with every single race, creed, you name it. And I was invited to everybody's party.
And you care for your country.
I love my country.
And are you a native of Nevada?
I am. I was born
Been in
in
Reno
Georgia,
a long time?
but I lived in Reno. My father and mother moved here when I was 5 years old.
So you care about Reno and what's going on here in our city.
I do.
Are you going to run for mayor again?
I'm not sure right now.
You're going to run for something, though, aren't you?
I am.
You're going to be running.
I'm going to run for city council in my ward, which I ran once before against Jessica.
Jessica
And,
Peraza.
yes, and when I ran there last time, I really got a bad taste of the media in my mouth then when I did an interview with Sue Voiles from the Reno Gazette-Journal, and I told her I was going to take a 25% pay cut for that job when elected, and she printed that I said I was going to demand a 25% pay cut for all city employees. And
Well, I think you'll get your day in court. It's just going to take you a while. And don't hold it against the media, because there's too much going on around. She doesn't have total control of what's going on or who's coming on the show. It isn't a political thing with the media.
Well,
you just have to become friends, get your point across.
my wife keeps telling me to stop being so mean.
Stop being so mean, Chad. Stop being so mean. But I like your attitude.
The mayor's race was going on, Jay.
I know, you told
And
me.
nobody
But you know, like I
reported it, but
said,
there was 17 reports on Daisy the dog, whether she was going to go to
well, that's
to
sweet.
jail or not.
That's warm and fluffy.
No,
You're
I
not
know
being warm
that.
and fluffy.
I know.
You got to get a little warm and fluffy, get a little caring like that. You seem like a very intelligent man. I think you got a lot to offer, Chad.
Thank you.
Can I ask you to come back on the show? We don't have any more time today.
I would
So
love
quick.
to be back on your show.
I'm going to be watching you. I'm going to be
Thank you.
watching you, Chad. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Chad Dehne.
I'll be on my
Remember
best
the
behavior.
name. We'll be back at 7:38. Eddie Floyd's here. Elaine's here.